the Discovery Saver plans. These are my favorite plans, really, to be on if you are not a high user of medical aid. So you get the Coastal Saver plan, you get the Essential Delta Saver plan, Classic Saver plan, and Classic Delta Saver plan. Coastal and Essential Delta means you are being paid out at 100% in private hospitals. So all of them include unlimited cover at a private hospital. So if you'd watched the core video, all of that is included. So your cover is, as I said, private, unlimited hospital cover, chronic cover. So your chronic medication and visits to your doctor comes out of chronic. So this is something that comes up quite a bit, where people are not aware that their condition could be covered under the chronic, which is really the risk, the hospital portion, not out of their savings. Most of us run out of our savings really quickly, and even more so if you are putting your chronic medication through your savings as opposed to through the hospital portion, the chronic. So if you have a chronic condition, and you can look up which chronic conditions are part of this list, there's about 27 of them, and it's your let me just say, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, those kind of things. Not depression, unless it's a major depressive disorder or bipolar, and it doesn't cover ADD or ADHD. That's only covered under the higher plans. So your garden variety chronic plan cover is covered under the hospital portion of this plan. So it's 2 visits to your doctor or specialist, whoever prescribes this medication, and your medication. Depending on which, if you're using a formulary one, a generic one, it's covered in full normally, or if you are on a more expensive one, then they will give you the rand amount of what they would have paid if you were on a generic, and then you can pay in the rest. Right, then the saver, people think that it's just a savings pot. Well, why do I need it? I could just have a core plan and I can do my savings by myself. And I also used to recommend that, but then everything changed. Firstly, if you don't use your savings, it actually will carry over to the next year. So you won't lose it. It's not like if you don't use it, you lose it. It will roll over to the next year. It is really nice to just have that bit of savings. If you're having a low cash flow month, and at least you know you've got that peace of mind that if a member of your family needs to go to the doctor, you know you've got that money that's there, and you have access to the whole year's worth of savings in January already. So part of your premium, you pay your hospital premium, and then you pay a small amount every month that goes into your savings pot. But you don't have to wait until October till you get a decent amount. They let you have the whole year's worth of savings up front in January if you need it then. But once it's run out, besides something that I'll explain to you now, but other than that, you have to pay in yourself. But having a saver gives you 4 advantages over not having a saver and doing it yourself. So the first one is you get a discounted rate at doctors. Like the old, you used to be able to get a cash discount when you went to a doctor. You no longer get that. You only get a discounted rate if you go to a Discovery Network doctor, like a Medicross doctor, or quite a few of the private doctors are part of the Discovery Network. You'll get a discount going to them if you have a saver. Once your savings has run out, you still get a certain amount of GP visits. This is called the Extended Benefits Network. So on a Coastal or a Classic Saver, you still get 6 free GP visits, as long as it's a Discovery Network GP for the year for your family. And I think it's no more than 2 per person. So one person in the family can't use all 6 of the visits. So it's 2 per person. And if you're on a Delta plan, 4 GP visits for the year. Not a lot of people are aware of this. And then the other part that's new, if you're on a Classic Saver, you also, from next year, your kids' casualty visit. So if your child needs to go to the emergency section of the hospital, they've broken their arm or fallen out of a tree, that is covered once your savings has run out. That's new for next year, but for next year they've taken away the x-rays and blood tests cover on the Classic Saver, so there's no longer that. Right, so I've covered the first 2, discounted rate at GPs. These are the advantages of having a saver. You get, once your savings has run out, you still get those free GP visits. And then you have cover for MRI and CT scans. You don't have cover for this if you are on a core plan. So only people on a saver plan have got cover for MRI and CT scans. And it's a significant benefit because these scans can cost up to 16,000 Rand. So that's a cover. And then you have the rehab benefit, which is if you are hospitalized and the trigger is 4 nights in an ICU, but it must be from an accident. So it's not from an illness. It is an accident that has caused you to be in ICU for 4 nights. That's the trigger. Discovery will then pay for up to 24 months for your rehabilitation. If you once you leave the hospital and you need to learn to walk again and you need to go for speech therapy. So for me, that is a very, very big benefit, and not many people know about that. I just quickly want to mention as well, I did it on the core plan video. If you go to the emergency, the casual, or the trauma part of the hospital, it's actually not covered under your hospital benefits. It's confusing because it's at the hospital, so you think, I've got a hospital plan, surely that's covered, but it's not. Unless you've got the classic smart and it's a kid that's going to the casualty, that's not a new thing for next year. But other than that, it comes out of your pocket. So if it's something small, like you've broken an arm and it needs to be reset, or you've cut yourself and you need stitches, or you have to go on a drip for a couple of hours, that will come out of your savings. Or if you have no savings, you have to pay for that yourself. Right. I just want a quick word on the Essential Delta Saver, because a lot of people stay on a core plan because they say they can't afford to go up to like if you're in a coastal core, it's quite a big jump to go to coastal saver, or an essential core, it's quite a big jump to go to essential saver. That's why I like the essential or the classic Delta Saver, because you're getting a 20% discount by choosing this Delta range, and it means that there's specific Delta hospitals, and if it's an elective procedure, you only will go to those hospitals. That's the agreement that you make with Discovery, and for that you're getting about a 20% discount. So, but just be careful, people forget, and then they choose a Delta plan, and then they need to go for something, and then they forget and they go to a non-Delta hospital, and they get, for next year, I think it's about an 8,000 Rand penalty. So always just check which are the Delta hospitals in your area, and make sure that you are comfortable using those hospitals. Otherwise, the Delta plan is not for you. But if they are, it's a very cost-effective, I think it's the most cost-effective plan on the Discovery option, is the Essential Delta Saver plan with gap cover. And I think I have mentioned everything on the Saver plans. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, that's the Discovery Saver plan.